who do not know me, I am the owner of Mobile General Counsel, which is a law firm for entrepreneurs. I'm also a public speaker and I host several live events. This morning, I'm doing a Motivation Monday, and I'll be going live specifically about, or I'm live now, specifically about the power of perseverance, the power of perseverance, the power of perseverance. So I'm hoping that you all can join me for this live video and we don't get cut off. But I wanted to go live about the power of perseverance, the power of perseverance. That's what we'll be talking about this morning. And if you do not know, I have this upcoming Thursday, I have an event called Christian Entrepreneurs Meetup. So I just want to, you know what? I'm having some technical difficulties on one of the platforms I'm on. So hopefully you all can see me here. I'm talking about the power of perseverance. Okay, we're going to get started. The power of perseverance, the power of perseverance. So I was in church yesterday and I was trying to figure out what exactly I was going to do the Motivation Monday this morning about. And one of the things that came up during service was perseverance and the power of perseverance, specifically the power of perseverance. And as an entrepreneur, and I don't know how many of us are entrepreneurs or in corporate, but if you have a business, just drop the name of your business in the comments. It is important that we persevere, right? More importantly, it's important that we understand and know the power of perseverance and the power that it has for us to keep going in spite of obstacles, in spite of people canceling, in spite of people not paying, in spite of people not showing up, in spite of some people not even understanding why you do what you do. You have to keep going despite all of that. And the reason is, if you don't persevere, you'll never be able to see, to feel, to experience the power of your hard work, because you don't know when your next breakthrough will come. And one of the things, if you all don't know, I go to Cornerstone Christian Fellowship. My dad talks about, good morning. My dad is the pastor of Cornerstone Christian Fellowship. And one of the things he said yesterday during service was, your blessing is in your next step. Your blessing is in your next step. So if you all have ever seen me live before, one of the things that I've typically said is like, it only takes one call, 1 minute, one day, for your whole life to change, for you to actually experience the manifestation of your dreams. And it is vital that we have a fierce belief in ourselves, belief in our faith. We keep our faith strong and we keep our minds right, because it's Monday, right? So that means we have 7 new days filled with opportunities for us to experience all the blessings that we have coming our way. So I want to be specific here and talk about 3 ways persistence can transform your business and your life. 3 ways persistence can transform your business and your life. 1, to be persistent, you have to stop complaining. And this is something that I have I don't know if it's a daily struggle with, but it's something that I am cognizant of every single day. How much of what I'm saying is me complaining versus how much of what I'm saying is positively pushing me in the direction towards my dreams. So when you are complaining, you literally are decreasing productivity and increasing doubt. You're decreasing productivity and you're increasing doubt. And what happens when you're decreasing productivity? Why are you decreasing productivity? Because complaining wastes time. It doesn't grow you in the direction of your dreams. And it sometimes has the propensity to take you away. It has the propensity to take you away from the thing that you are doing. So we have to decrease our complaints, right? And replace those complaints with persistence. So when a client doesn't come through, or when someone says, I don't want to work with you, I'm not interested in your services, complaining would be, oh, people don't understand the importance of legal work. They don't know why they need a lawyer. This doesn't make any sense. I really wish businesses would understand the value of law. Whereas I can replace that with doing another pitch to another client, talking to someone else about my services, increasing the amount of valuable offerings that I give, changing my approach. And sometimes persistence involves, I talk a lot about being positive and keeping your mind right and doing things to help you along your positivity journey. But sometimes you have to evaluate whether your approach is right. So I've had I've had clients, not clients, I've had prospects, right? People who I'm talking to about my services that have said, "Oh, I don't like your approach," right? And so I have to know, okay, great. Well, what can I take from this? What can I leave? What will I change? What will I do better? What am I hearing repeatedly so that I can get better in my business? But I have to be persistent in that approach. If someone doesn't like my approach, it doesn't mean I stop coming. It may mean I come differently for them, or it may mean I keep going with someone else, right? But we have to be persistent and the power persistent. And I'll give you a personal example about the power of persistence. I started my business 6 months ago. I started my firm 6 months ago. I've been an entrepreneur. I've had some type of a separate income for the past probably, I don't know, since college. So the past 10, over 10 years, I've been doing something on the side hustling, right? But I became a full-time entrepreneur 6 months ago. And the first so the first, I would say 4, 5 months, nothing. Like no big contracts were coming in. And when I say big contracts, nothing over $1,000, no big contracts were coming in. And I had to consistently show up. One, I had to consistently show up. I had to consistently do what I needed to do in order for my business to flourish. And I had to do it with the expectation that it would bear fruit. And there are two ways that you can do this whole business thing. There's one way that you do it where you're kind of like, I'm invested in it, but not really because I don't know if it'll work out. So you're kind of just like hoping that it works out. You're haphazardly doing things. You're not giving it your all. But you're doing a little something every day. You're doing a little something every day, but you don't really believe in it. And there is a huge difference between how you show up when you believe in something and how you show up when you don't. And one of the hardest things I found for me, one of the hardest things for me, I won't talk about y'all. I don't know what y'all are going through. One of the hardest things for me was showing up consistently when I didn't see the fruit. And not only showing up consistently, but showing up as though the fruit was already there, right? So I am a firm believer that you are already the futuristic, dope version of yourself. I'm already on that path. I'm just waiting on my present to catch up with my future. So I'm working towards those things. And so showing up consistently when you don't see the fruit is one of the reasons why there are some people who are very successful and other people that are not. The difference is everyone experiences loss. Everyone experiences a building period. Everyone experiences a period where they're not seeing the fruit, where they're not seeing the manifestation of their efforts. But there's this gap between when you are putting in that work and building that brand and when you actually are able to take a draw from your efforts, meaning you actually start seeing the fruit and you can like start enjoying the fruit that you're seeing in your business. And because there's a gap, that means there's a period of time, y'all, where we're going to have to work like we're getting paid $1 million when we're not making a cent. That's just a part of the entrepreneurial game. And because there's this period of time, for a lot of us, there's a period of time. I won't speak for everyone, but for a lot of us, there's a period of time where you have to build. Everyone has a day one. Everyone has a day one. And because there's this period of time, we have to show up without complaining and consistently be persistent, consistently pitch, consistently tell people about ourselves. And so the number two way that persistence can transform your business and your life. So the number one way it transforms your personal life. Number one, for those of you who just joined, hello. We talked about stop complaining, right? If you get rid of complaining, you can replace that time with actual productive efforts. And complaining typically doesn't bear fruit. It may make you feel better. And complaining is different than like, I want to distinguish here because I do believe in, I have a therapist. I believe in going to therapy. I believe in talking to someone about your frustrations. I believe there is a time and an importance to venting. But when you're doing it during the time when you should be working and sowing seeds, it just doesn't make sense. And a lot of us get distracted by people who aren't even our ideal client. If you like, sometimes we can't, we can't get distracted by people who aren't our ideal client. We can't get distracted by people who aren't putting money in our bank accounts, who aren't out for our best interest, who aren't giving us constructive criticism. And I know that it hurts because a lot of us are doing, if you're a service business provider and someone tells you you aren't doing a good job, that is kind of personal. It's business, but it's personal too. And so I understand that it hurts and it makes us feel bad and all of those things, but we have to figure out a way to channel that energy so that we are doing things that are productive. So the first tip, okay, the way that persistence can transform your personal life is going to be if you stop complaining and replace that complaint with productivity, you won't have to worry about, you'll start seeing the fruits of your persistence. The second tip, pitching, okay? It's Monday. We should be pitching every day, exposing yourself to people who you don't know, who could potentially benefit from your services. I think that people believe that the successful service providers have large platforms online, and thus people are coming to them every day, begging them to work with them. And while that may be happening in some instances, and while we do get some inbound leads, the people that are your ideal client, those big fish, those large contracts, the people that you should have two buckets, right? There should be a bucket of income coming into your business that doesn't cost you a whole lot of time to make. Like that's like low hanging fruit. Like you can do this every single month. This is bringing money into your business, right? But then there's this other bucket, this reach bucket of money that you want coming into your business that you know you're going to have to get after it in order to achieve. That money is going to come from you pitching. It's not going to come from them calling you. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing a TEDx talk in a couple of weeks next month. I'm doing an Ignite talk in Chicago. That's another national speaking platform. They have them all over the country. They didn't call me like, "Hey Ashley, we would love to see you. We see you're so dope. We want you to do this stuff." I had to pitch to get them, right? And so there is going to be persistence would mean I pitch so many people. I remember when I was applying to jobs, I used to apply to so many jobs. When I wanted a job, I would apply to so many jobs that were tailor-made for me, that were like within my realm of expertise, that when a company would email me and say like, "Oh, we don't want you to work here," I'd be like, "Oh, I didn't even remember I applied." Like, whatever. I don't even remember I applied for that. So I think there is something to the numerical game of pitching. Are you pitching 100 people a month? And you should have the figures for like, I pitched 200 people last month. That resulted in 15 clients. That means numerically, if I pitch 400 people this month, that should result in 30 clients if I'm pitching the right people. And then you go back and you evaluate, well, these are the types of people that I pitched that converted to full-time clients. You know, when's the last time you asked anyone who's bought from you why they chose you out of all the other people they could have worked with? How can you do better for them? How can you increase your value to them? Is there any service that they need that you don't provide that they would love for you to be the one-stop shop for, and see whether you can add that service? But persistence means pitching when you get declined 80 times. My background is in inside sales. So every day I would wake up, I'd go to work, 8 a.m. We'd have a rah-rah like team meeting, right? So everyone would talk to us. They talked to us for about 30 minutes. And then we'd have to go in a room and we'd sit at a desk. And for 8 hours, I was calling people who needed like a gas card. I was selling basically credit cards to businesses but right out of undergrad, not out of law school, but out of undergrad. That's what I was doing for money. And I would call 100 people and sign 2 clients. And so the persistence in me developed as an inside sales rep. That's where I learned you have to add value, be good at what you do, be qualified. But after all of that, you have to be pitching. You have to be talking to people who are in your ideal audience and exposing yourself to people every single day who don't know you. And you will get people who say they don't appreciate what you're selling. They don't like what you're doing. They don't think you're professional. They don't think you're cute enough. They don't like this. There are people that will spew negativity into you as a business owner. And guess what? It doesn't matter. You have to continuously pitch, put yourself out there in front of people. And another thing, we don't have to wait until we're perfect. We don't have to wait until we have it all together. We don't have to be, grade A at every single time that we start pitching people. You don't have to wait for the perfect graphics or the perfect email or the perfect website or the perfect sales funnel. You need to get out there and start getting rejected. You got to get out there and start getting rejected. You got to get out there and start hearing no, and you have to start seeing how you handle rejection, because if you don't learn how to handle rejection, you'll never be able to handle success, because you won't materialize the success without getting through a lot of rejection. That's just a part of it. I've told you all, maybe the people who are watching, I haven't told you all my personal story about how I became a lawyer, but the first time I applied to law school, I didn't get in anywhere. Not a single law school, not one. I didn't get into one law school. I got in nowhere. And if I would have listened to what all the admissions officers said and what all the people told me about being a lawyer, it would have been that you're not smart enough to be an attorney. Your grades aren't good enough. Your pedigree isn't high enough to be an attorney. Instead, what I did was I zoned in on one law school. the John Marshall Law School down the street. I figured out where they were. I ended up applying for a sales job down the street from that law school. And I went into the admissions office for that person every single day. Okay. Every day. I went into her office every day and I said, it was every day for a week. And then after that, because this is like a year I did this. I probably went in every month or at least every other week. It was like every month or every other week. I was in there every month for sure though. And I went to her office and I was like, hey, just wondering when you were going to accept me. She's like, oh, well, has your LSAT changed? Has this changed? I was like, no, but here's what's changed. I'm going to come into your office every single day until you accept me into this law school, or every single week. By the way, I just got a new job. It is literally 5 minutes walking from this law school because I originally planned to go to law school part-time while working full-time. So I finally, they were sick of me. So they finally let me in. And I got in, and John Marshall isn't a highly ranked law school, period. It was like ranked in the bottom, like there's 200 law schools, they were like bottom 50. So I go to this law school and then I start wanting to work at a large firm. See, because here's the other thing. Just because your qualifications don't say you should be shooting for the stars, you don't allow your qualifications, your background, and what other people say for you to determine your goals. Your goals should be extraordinarily large, regardless of your background, regardless of your pedigree, regardless of your income. Your goals aren't based on all that. Your goals are only based on one thing: what you believe about yourself, period. It is based on one thing: what you believe about yourself. It's not based on your race. It's not based on your gender. It's not based on anything. It's based on what you believe about yourself. I still, even after not getting in and finally getting in, I still believed in myself. And you need that belief because belief moves you to action. Without the belief, you're not going to pitch. If you don't think what you're doing is valuable, why would you pitch it to clients? You don't believe it's valuable. If I didn't believe that my services were valuable, if I didn't believe that I could help businesses with their legal efforts, if I didn't believe that I was a competent trademark, employment, and contract attorney, I wouldn't pitch those services because I would feel like a fraud every time I pitched. And you're not going to do something that makes you feel bad. But when you know that what you have is valuable, your goals will always be based on your value, not on your current situation. It's not based on that. So I got into this law school lower ranked. But I knew I wanted to work at the number one law firm in the world at the time, or in Chicago. It's like the top 10 law firm in the world. That's Kirkland & Ellis. So at the time, I was at this low-ranked law school. I interviewed at a higher-ranked law firm, and it was one of the big firms. And it was one of the firms that Michelle and Barack Obama worked at. Okay, that's how they met. They met at Sidley Austin. I talked to someone from this firm, and they told me, well, you need to go to a top 10 law school because we don't recruit from that school. We don't even hire from there. So you need to go to a top 10 law school. So I was like, okay, done. So a lot of you know I graduated from Northwestern University School of Law. It's the top 10 law school in the country. So I went to Northwestern, did the same thing I did for John Marshall. I talked to the admissions rep. I was like, look, lady, you don't know me. I don't know you. But here's what I know. I will be an exceptional alum. I'm going to be very successful. I'm going to make your school look good. I'm going to be a great alum. And I just need to know what you all need for me to get into this law school. And they said, well, we want you to get a 1L summer associate position at some really big firm. Only like 5% of all law students ever get them at your level. I was like, done. I did that. But here's the other thing, guys. I'm saying done like this was so easy. The thing that I did, I believed that I could succeed in law school. And so I worked. I studied as though I knew I would get the grades. A lot of us don't put in the effort that matches our expectation. So you won't work as though you want to be the largest law firm in the world. You won't work as though you want to have $1 billion brand. You will work like 2 hours a day on your business. You'll let people who say no to you stop you from getting your next yes. You'll pitch one person who's negative and you won't pitch anyone else for the next 5-10 days. You can't be like that. You have to put in the effort. Like if you knew by working 10 hours a day, being deliberate, being focused, it would produce $1 million, you would do it. And so sometimes the tough part is working as though we are going to build billion, trillion dollar brands when you don't see the fruit of that. But I got in, I did what I had to do. I got those grades. I got the grades. It all came down to, I had to get the grades, right? So I got all A's in law school. Then I went to Northwestern, graduated with a 3.86 GPA. First I worked at Sidley Austin, that firm Michelle and Barack Obama met at. Then I went on to Kirkland & Ellis and worked there. And all along the way, people were telling me like, I don't know. I don't know if your pedigree will match up. You're a Black woman. It's not a lot of you. I was the only Black woman in my department. I don't know if you could be successful there. I'm not sure. It's a lot going on. You have to silence the noise. And to be real, there is nothing wrong with saying, I understand that your faith isn't there for this, what I got going on. But I also would appreciate if you would keep that over there. Keep that over there with you. See, because my qualifications, my dreams, my goals, they're not based on other people's limited belief about who I am. They can't be. As a Black woman in America, they can't be. My beliefs cannot be based on what people think that I can do. My mountains for me to climb and for me to move are not based on other people's strength. And a lot of us are not where we could be because we don't have people in our corner who are saying, girl, you the bomb. You can do this. If you put the work in, you will be successful. Yes, Avery. You got to put in the work. So it's like, we talk about faith and things that feel good, but the reality is I'm pitching 100 to 200 clients a week. Seriously, telling them about my business, right? And you have systems to do that, but there is something about the persistence that it takes. And I'll tell you a transparent moment. There was a time last week, someone sent me a message and it was like a really nasty message about something that doesn't even matter. It was like, I don't like the way you did this, or you didn't respond to my message within 24 hours and you didn't do this. And I'm just like, one, the message didn't come. It was not an email. I responded it wasn't an email. It was something that someone sent to some social media account. And I could have been like, you tripping. You really tripping. Like this doesn't make sense. Instead, I was like, okay, well, one, is there an opportunity? Did I drop the ball on something? That's how I approach most situations. Did I drop the ball on something? Where did I drop the ball on this? Where did this communication break down? Okay. Did I drop the ball? Two, can I do something to make it right? I don't want anyone to feel slighted. And at this level in my business, I'm not to the point of growth yet where I can't give every single person that is really interested in working with me some level of attention. I know there will come a time where I will not be this accessible, period, because I have a growth plan for my business and for my personal brand. But until that time, I do try to figure out, where did I drop the ball? Can I do something to make it right? Can I do something to make people feel special? And then third, if not, I have to let it go. I can't let it permeate everything that I do for the rest of the day. So there will be people too, guys, that have so little faith in themselves, so little faith in their beliefs. They are so unfocused on their own dreams, on their own ambitions, on their own goals, that all they want to do is tear down other big dreamers, tear down other big believers. That's all they want to do. Why? Because they don't have big dreams for themselves. They don't have something pushing them to do better. They don't have something telling them, waking them up early in the morning so they can get up, get after it. They don't have clients that they're praying for and working for. And so there are people that they're just like little leeches. You know what I mean? And like all they want to do is to tear you down. There are other people that are here to give you the feedback that you need to grow. So you got to put people in buckets. Like, is this only negative? Or can I take something from this and be better? And if you can, take it and be better. But you don't need to harp and wade in the water with every little thing that people tell you. It's not very important that you do that. So the third thing you need to do, the third way the power of persistence can transform your business and your personal life is that if you are persistent, you are going to perfect your bounce back skills. If you're persistent, your bounce back is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous. Like if you can perfect the power of the bounce back, if your bounce back skills can be on point, there's nothing you can't do. And what do I mean by that? I mean, we are going to go through some tough times in life. It's just inevitable. We're going to lose people who mean a lot to us. Some of you have already lost your parents. Some of you may lose a close family member. Some of you may have been divorced, lost a marriage, lost a friend. You lose people in life. And not only that, people go through all types of challenges in life, health challenges. I've dealt with health challenges over the last year. There will be things that we have to deal with. Public embarrassment. I've been embarrassed within the past year. I've dealt with loss. I've dealt with extreme grief. I've dealt with depression. Like you're going to deal with all these things, right? All these things. And what you cannot allow it to do is to not only distract your future permanently, but to derail your future. You don't want it to derail your future. You don't want it to derail your future. So your bounce back skills have to be impeccable. And one of the things that I pray for is like, God, make me resilient. Make me resilient. Make me resilient. Make me wise enough to decipher between the people I should be partnering with and the people that I should not be talking to at all. Like there's some people you shouldn't be talking to at all. I don't take all clients, personally. I don't think any service provider should be like, I take every client, I do everything for every client. No, there has to be alignment there. And there's been people, if you all have worked with me and you know this, like I will promote other lawyers who do sometimes what I do because I'm not worried. First off, any door that has my name on it, can't no other lawyer open anyways. Any client that is for me is coming to me every time. And I don't have to worry about someone talking to another lawyer because if they talk to another lawyer and that lawyer can help them better than me, that's who I want them to go with anyways. Because at the end of the day, my goal is for businesses to thrive. That's why I got in business. I didn't get in business like to do just to make money. I'm a for-profit business, to be clear. I don't work for free, and I do pro bono. Like I have had some times where I've done some things and not charged, but you do want to, I want to be clear that there are doors. The way I see life, because I'm a visual person, I want you to imagine with me on Monday, Motivation Monday, imagine with me that your life, your future is full of doors, right? Every year you have doors. And there will be some doors that you're not supposed to go through that you may go through. And what'll happen when you go through the door you're not supposed to go through is you will lose time. And I wake up every day with this. I don't know why. I cannot explain why, y'all. But I wake up every morning with this extreme sense of urgency. That is, it's like I can't even explain it, but it is a sense of urgency. Like I gotta get after it. I have to get after the day. I need my schedule to be on point. If it's not on my calendar, I can't do it because I want to be respectful to myself and to people who have booked time on my calendar. But there is a sense of urgency. So these doors, okay, we're imagining these doors. There are some doors that I have walked through that I was not supposed to walk through, and I lost time. And you know what else I almost lost? I almost lost confidence, because when you go into an opportunity that's not for you, you will feel that, and it can cause you to lose confidence in yourself. And we ain't got time for that, because in this life, we have a set amount of time. And by going through the wrong door, that means there are people and opportunities waiting for me that I missed that were uniquely designed for me. There were clients that I should have been helping that I missed because I was helping people I should not have been helping, doing things I should not have been doing. So there are doors. The prayer that I prayed this morning was, God, close every door that ain't for me. Keep it locked. Even when I try to open it, keep it closed. And make it easy to walk through the doors that are for me so that I don't miss any opportunity that you've ordained for me, because I don't want to waste time. I don't want to work with people I'm not supposed to work with. I don't want to cheapen my value. I don't want to go through journeys and trials that I don't have to go through. Like I just don't have to, I don't want to do any of that. So if you imagine your life full of these doors, I want you to know that there are doors in your future that are uniquely designed for you that nobody else could open, even if they want to, because you're the only one with the key. And if you do it in your time, and if you're willing, and if you're dogmatic and persistent in your pursuit of your doors, of your opportunities, of your shine, then you don't have to worry about like competition taking over or someone taking over what's for me. I do believe there are things that are uniquely designed for me that other people wouldn't be able to do. And even if they had an opportunity to go on a platform that I'm on, that's fine. That's fine, because there will still be room for me if I'm supposed to be there. And it's not that I'm the only one that can go through all these opportunities. It's more so that no one can take my opportunities from me, period. And that's just the way that I have to approach it, because if I stay with that mindset, then I don't ever have to worry about competition. I don't have to waste time being jealousy. Oh my God, that wastes a lot of time. Jealousy wastes a lot of time. Looking at other people and coveting what they have, that wastes a lot of time. I don't know what other people went through to get where they're at. I probably don't want to go through what they went through. The same way a lot of people have no clue what I go through to get where I am. And a lot of people do not want to go through what I've gone through to get where I'm at now. So we have to be so careful not to take every opportunity just because it's a platform, not to work with everyone just because they seem like a big deal, not to be clout chasing in the sense that like, you're always trying to combine with somebody just because they seem like they have such a big platform. Some people may look great on the outside, but they're really not great on the inside. And, you know, that's why I was telling my husband the other day, I do events for women, but I'm careful not to be like a women's empowerment speaker because it's been diluted. It's been really diluted. And there are people that have no grace, have no mercy, have no real love for women that are doing events for women. And it's given it a bad name. And quite frankly, I don't want to limit this wisdom that I have, the gifts that God has given me, just to women. So, you know, I'm doing, my next brunch is actually for my church. I'm speaking at it. It's called Calling All Leading Ladies. It's in Chicago. It's a prayer breakfast for business owners. So it's for everyone. It's a prayer breakfast for women, and it's like around our Women's Day. So like mothers and daughters, you should definitely come out. And I'm the keynote speaker for that. But after that, I'll be doing a Building a Bulletproof Brand brunch, and it's co-ed. It's co-ed. So I don't want it to only be for women. And I think as women, sometimes we limit ourselves just to doing women's events because we see every other woman doing events just for women. But the reality is, wisdom, it goes beyond gender, right? Like if you're wise, your wisdom works for women and for men. You know, if you are, I'm a lawyer, I have male and female clients. I don't only have things for women. And I don't only have things for minorities. You know, we put ourselves in boxes, but again, our dreams are not based on the boxes of society. It's not based on your gender, your race, your color, even your religion. It's not based on any of that. It's based on your personal belief in yourself. So the bigger you can believe in yourself, the bigger your dreams will be. And the bigger your dreams are, and the more you can start actually seeing yourself obtaining your dreams, walking through those doors, the more you will start to believe that it'll happen. And when you believe it'll happen, the more your persistence and your faith and your pitches and your feet will move in that direction. And then the more you do that over and over and over again, day in and day out, time and time again, that's when you will start seeing your future self catch up with your present self, and you'll see the manifestation of your work. So this is really, really, really important. This is really important that we get the power of persistence. So look, here's the call to action. Here's the call to action, right? If you believe that on this week, for all my entrepreneurs, you're going to get some no's, meaning you're going to pitch somebody who you think is out of your present league, maybe out of your present capacity. You're going to pitch someone who you've been thinking about working with, but you haven't reached out to yet. You're going to pitch some big clients, some corporate clients, all of that type of stuff. If you're going to do that, then just put I persist in the comments, hashtag I persist in the comments. And I want to see whether I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens. So on our next week's Motivation Monday, just let me know the results of you believing in yourself big enough to start pitching and persisting and doing those things. So as a recap, power of persistence. Number one, we're going to stop complaining because it wastes time. It decreases productivity and increases doubt. Number two, we're going to pitch. We're going to expose ourselves every single day to people who could benefit from our services and what we offer. And number three, we are going to avoid distractions and see ourselves as bigger than we are. Okay. We're going to avoid distractions and see ourselves as bigger than we currently are. And we're going to believe it. We're going to walk in it. We're going to persist in it. I will definitely write hashtag I persist in the comments as well, because I'm going to be pitching some larger corporate clients this week, and I cannot wait to do it. And you know, I'm just ready. I'm ready to win consistently. And I know that it can happen. But I'll tell you all, the first business I started, it took 4 months, I think 4 or 5 months for me to get those corporate contracts. But that first month that it happened, my first month of making real revenue in my business was a 15K month. Okay. So it's like, you gotta believe. When I'm not telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know. And 15K is not like, that number. I give specific numbers because I feel like people false flag a lot. So I just want to be real specific, right? But that number isn't the important thing. The important thing is it took that much time. It took over 120 days of me being consistent and persistent and pitching in order to see that realization, in order to see the fruits of my labor. So keep going is what I'm saying. Keep going, keep pushing, keep persisting, and let me know how it works out. Let me know how your pitches work out. Share this video, like this video, tag an entrepreneur. This week, I have some really cool events, so I'm gonna do my announcements and I'm gonna get out of here. This week, if you're in Chicago, I have a Christian Entrepreneurs Meetup. DM me for info on that or check my page. All the links are posted. I also have next week my Get the Tea on Trademarks workshop where I'm teaching entrepreneurs how to trademark their own brands, how to DIY the trademark process. And that's for people who are not quite ready to hire a lawyer to do it. So if that's you, reach out. If you want information on that, let me know. And as always, you can go to mobilegeneralcounsel.com if you want to schedule a consultation with me. But I am praying God's best and blessings on your life. And I cannot wait to see these I Persist testimonies next week on Motivation Monday. Tomorrow, I'll be going live about trademarks. As always, at 7:30 a.m. Talk to you soon. All right, talk to y'all later. Oh, YouTube, thank you so much for joining me. I cannot wait to work with you all. If you want more information about me, I'm attorney Ashley Kirkwood, mobilegeneralcounsel.com, and professional speaker. You can find out about my speaking services at theashleynicoleshow.com. Talk to you soon.